Alright, how's it going? So I'm going to make this video as short as possible. Got a 2021 Bronco with the incandescent taillights. A lot of people keep calling them halogen, but that's, anyway, here nor there. So I wanted to get the LED ones for it. I went the cheap route. I went with the VLANDs. VLAND. So they're $200, and I started looking to see if there was any videos on how to install them, and I couldn't find any. So I was like, whatever, I'll just figure it out. And I started working my way through it, and I hit a little bit of a snag, and I looked online for some possible remedies and found a lot of people having the same problem where everything works perfect on the light, except for I've got no brake lights. When I hit the brakes, the turn signal comes on. All right, well, that's cool. That means it wasn't hooked up right. These things work great. So the only thing I can say about them that's not as good as the factory, on the incandescent, is the reverse lights are not as bright, but that's kind of a small price to pay. But they do the cool thing when they come on. They run through a whole little sequence. The tail lights, I'm sorry, the turn signals are sequential, or you can make it traditional. I don't know how, but the factory setting on it is sequential. So that's pretty neat. This lights up with your brake light. Obviously that's your running light. That part gets brighter when you hit your brakes. Common sense. So yeah, that's your reverse light. It's not as bright as factory. That's the only complaint. Not really a complaint. I'm just saying that it's not going to be as bright. And that's that. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the other side. The first thing you're going to want to do is these little, it looks like a Phillips head screw, but it's just plastic clips. They're not really worth a crap, but there's 4 of them, and you may be able to get by with only taking these 3 out. I ended up on that side over there because I have the extra wiring that has that goes to the four-way plug for the trailer lights. So that extra stuff's over there. So I ended up having to pull that whole piece out, and to where I could stuff all that extra wiring up in there with the resistor and everything else. There's just a lot of wiring that I had to get up in there. So I ended up just taking the whole thing off. Super easy. Just bolt here, a bolt here. Both those are 10mm. And then these 4 plastic clips, and that whole piece, just pull it out at the bottom. And right there, you see where I didn't put it back in. Anyway, that just pops out, and then it just pops loose from the top. You're good to go. Same thing on this side. If you have to take it off, bolts, 2 of them, and the 4 clips. The easiest way that I found to get these things started is if when you start turning them and not putting any pressure, just like barely enough to keep the darn screwdriver in there, when they don't start backing out, when you're first trying to get them loose or whatever, you can put your fingernail behind it to hold pressure on it, or a flathead screwdriver, put the tip of it in there to get the thing started. And anyway, it'll come out. But I'm gonna try this one with just these 3, since it doesn't have all the extra wiring on this side, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to do it without taking that whole piece out. Not because it's a lot of extra work, but I didn't have this door in the way on that other side, so it's not going to come out quite as easy. So I would just prefer to not. But anyway, once you do that, super simple. There's plenty of other videos over there, or out there, on how to take this stuff apart, because I saw some of them, but it's not rocket science. I saw the one said that you have to take the fender flare off first. Well, that might be the case, but it's just a little hard to do with the door open. But once it goes, there's gonna be a bunch of mud, but there's just 2 clips in there, and once it pulls loose, don't do that. But anyway, that little lip right there, it just tucks in behind the fender flare, and then, which the fender flares are super easy to get off, but I'm just saying, I didn't notice a difference on how difficult it was. And then the top part just pops in across that channel, and then there's nothing that holds it in at the bottom. It's just on the sides, over here, those 2, and this here at the top. As you can see, no harm, no foul. Even after dropping that piece, nothing wrong with it, except for the mud that I'm getting on it from holding it. Once you get that off, another 10mm bolt right here. This piece of plastic right here, don't pull on that piece of plastic, because that piece of plastic is basically just heat glued on, and it will pop off. Ask me how I know. Take that bolt out. Once you take that bolt out, don't forget about it because it's hard to see. Then you pull the whole assembly, the whole black assembly thing, and you pull from the bottom, and you can, with that door open, you can work a screwdriver or something back in behind there to pop it loose. There's one up here, one up here, one here, one here. There's 3 clips where it clips into that taillight housing. A little white plastic clips, just like those. And then that 10mm bolt. So once we get the bolt out, you can see, sorry, that's the piece you took loose right there. You can see it's loose, very loose, not a whole lot holding it. Just a good little tug right there from the bottom, just all 3 just pulled right out. Wonderful. All right, you get the idea. Three bolts, 8mm, 8mm, 10mm. There's a little clip thing. I'll show you right here. It's not going to give you a lot of resistance, and it'll just pop right out. So be ready. It'll jump out on you. I guess. Anyway, get the bolts out. Pull the light out. Unplug that. Unplug that. hard to hold a phone and think and do everything else. So this I'm sorry, this is not the easiest thing in the world. Try not to drop it. This factory plug right here goes on the new light. Sorry that it's upside down, but it is what it is. Once you get that factory plug on the new light, that is when you will take and plug this one. I'm really sorry about this crappy camera work. I don't like asking for help, so. And I ain't fancy enough to have a kind of GoPro I wear on my head or anything. So that end of the harness goes in that. And this harness, I did have it right the first time. I just confused myself for a second. So what people were talking about, be careful with that little guy right there because it can get a little scratchy. Everything's plug and play, yeah, and everything just plugged right up and everything works great. The reverse lights work, the turn signals work, the running lights work. But when I hit the brakes, the turn signal comes on for just a second, but the brake lights don't come on. Well, that's because he didn't hook all the wires up. I really don't like doing this, but it'll be okay. It's mine. I can do it if I want to. Turn this flashback off. So when I open the door, everything works. It does what it's supposed to. Problem is, when I hit that brake pedal in there, it doesn't. That turn signal is going to come on. So, fast forward, that's where this little red, seemingly insignificant wire goes. That's what makes the turn signal not come on when you hit the brake, and the actual brake light come on. And it works wonderfully. And where you get that is this fancy little brown harness that they send you. It's a little brown wire that they send you. And the other end of that brown wire has that same square, the male part of that same square plug that's on that light. I really don't know how this company can have such a lack of instructions on things, but it's really well put together and it's a very good, nice working product, and we'll see how it does longevity. That's not what I need to open. I've already got the wire in through there. But I'm gonna pop this panel off. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you want to see how that's done too. This side, just pull straight out. I gotta stop looking through my phone to do that because I'm dropping everything. He's got these tabs. So obviously that means it slides in. So don't try to pop it out on this side or you'll break those tabs. That side pops out. This side slides in. I've got to clean this up because I'm too OCD to just leave it. But right there, I hope you can see it. See that brown wire coming out of there? See that harness right there? The other end of it. My fat finger's in the way. The other end of it's right there. So it's got a male end and a female end, and the brown wire comes out of the middle, and you pop this panel off right here, and you're tapping into your wiring for your third brake light. That's it. And then you pop this panel off, same thing. Pull from the bottom. Pull from the top, you're gonna break the tabs off. It slides in on the top. Pull the bottom out. Slide that out. Again, ask me how I know, because I think I just want to figure out everything instead of, you know, taking the time to make sure I'm going to do it the right way, because I think I already know everything. But it's all good. You run these wires, you go back and hide them. It's one, I say wires, it's one wire. It's so easy. You can hide it anywhere. You can just stuff it down up behind this weather seal. I mean, it's going to be, man, the amount of times I wish I'd had the hiding a wire was going to be that easy. But anyway, you just run it through. Run it out over here. You can go through this if you would like. However you want to do it. Depends on how OCD you are. But I can tell you that as far as that stuff in there goes, and the only reason this stuff is in here is because I added one of those spare tire LED ring brake lights. So I don't have another hand. Just pop in there. Thank you. Wonder how many times you can pop something like that on and off before it says I'm done, and it breaks. Anyway, that's insignificant. So there you go. Get that. Once you got these little guys plugged together, I assure you, unless I just got really, really lucky, everything works wonderfully. So I'm going to start buttoning it back up, and I'll show you the fit and function of everything after it's done, because no need to waste the time, and y'all are just going to skip past that anyway, because I've already showed you what to do to take it apart, and obviously you just reverse that to put it back together. So cool, stand by. So I ended up leaving that, whatever, I guess you would say, it's not the OEM, but the manufacturer of this light's bracket on the back of it, and it seems to fit fine. I guess the other side was just a little weird for some reason, but like I said, that resistor and the little black box and stuff, it's all stuffed up in there. It's tight, but it goes, and it's fine. I will show you this part. Start on the other side. You know that. You need two hands. And once you get that back, everything lines up. Slide that in behind there, and the top body line is lined up. Come over here. that. Pop, pop, pop. So, anyway, like I said, don't take the fender flare off unless you just want to. And that's it. Thanks for watching.